Welcome to a full review of the BMW 2 Series Gran Coupé as sporty M235i. Let's go! Please subscribe to us if you haven't done so far, and if you already subscribed, thank you so much. And a shout out also to our Portuguese fans today. You know, we have a very strong fan base here in Portugal, and somehow they always love when we're here to film the reviews. Here, the BMW 1 Series or the 2 Series, they both get this very big front double kidney, although they are rather small vehicles. Again, in the US, this is now your compact segment entry into the BMW model range. In the US, you do not get the 1 Series. In Europe and also other markets, you do have the 1 Series. They share the very same platform. The M235i gets this meshed front double kidney. Otherwise, you have, for example, vertical fins in there. 4.52 meters, 14'8" or 178 inches is the length of the 2 Series Gran Coupé. That's 20 centimeters or 8 inches longer than the BMW 1 Series compact hatch, but they share the very same wheelbase. It's the same platform, front wheel driven, not so long front hood. And if you have the all-wheel drive, it is then front plus rear-wheel drive on demand, like it is here with the M235i. The normal front-wheel drive models and also the low all-wheel drive models, besides that one here, they usually start with electronic front control differential lock, so to say. So it's not a real one, but they use the technology of the BMW i3S, very interesting, to reduce a front wheel spin. And here in this performance model, M performance model, you do get a true mechanical front differential lock. As for the market position inside the model portfolio, I think with BMW it's a little bit clearer here with BMW 2 Series Gran Coupé, because if you think about Mercedes, they have the A-Class hatch, the A-Class sedan, then the CLA, even as sedan and shooting brake, and then they have the C-Class, and the CLA is the same length as the C-Class now. Here with BMW, they try to differentiate a little bit more, so the 2 Series Gran Coupé is still shorter than the BMW 3 Series, and I think that's a little bit clearer as to where to position the car. Or what's your thought on that? So as for engines, the one we have today, yay, hydraulic struts, is the M235i X-Drive, so the M performance model with all-wheel drive, front plus rear, 306 horsepower, 2-liter 4-cylinder, and acceleration figure 5.1 or 4.9 seconds with the M Performance package. Here we have the slim, light and suitable car key if you have the M Sport version or the M235i. You also have the M colors at the side. Yay! And keyless entry when putting your finger here on those 3 stripes. Closes, or hand on the inside, it opens. And the beautiful thing is that we have the frameless doors here. So typical coupe element although there's always a lot of argue between Coupé hardliners who say there are only two-door coupés and Coupé softliners who say there are also four-door coupés. Yeah, that's how it is. The only thing is here with the frameless doors that the door closing sound is not that good then. So that sounds a little bit weird because there's no real plop sound then when there's no frame around these doors. Then from the inside, soft touch right there. Then there's a dark decoy element in this case. There's the optional Harman Kardon sound system. So there are 3 sound systems available overall. This here, the one with the 16 speaker setup. So this is the most speakers there are, 6, 10 or 16. 16 in this case here. Nice sound from that. Then the rest of the interior, we already know it from the BMW 1 Series in the European market. You can see here the compact steering wheel, very good build quality. Everything is very well done as for the buttons and knobs and so on. Soon more deals to all of the screens. Headroom for me with 1m86 or 6'1" is like this. Plenty available. For like 1,200 or something extra, there's a panoramic roof available if you want to go for that. And of course it costs a little bit of headroom, but still, although the car looks sleek, there's an astonishing amount of headroom still left. Interior overview, good build quality here, everywhere soft touch materials, no matter what you touch. There's a sporty deco element. There are different stylings for that available for the 2 Series. Then the climate unit is still manually to control with the screen right there, but that's good because I want to have something accessible also while driving. The only thing, turning off and on the AC can just be done in the menu right here and not with a single button. But they have some individualized hotkeys in the lower area, and so cool to still have a real volume knob. Steering wheel has this heated function. This one also the M steering wheel with a little bit thicker grip. On the left side you have the adaptive cruise control. This is not a soft rubber surface, it's a more, it feels good. It's a hard plastic surface but feels good in the quality. Past generations were a little bit soft rubber where that was diminishing after a while. So here on the left side you get these digital instruments. That way they come alive. Oh, even the white car is displayed in the middle there. Pretty cool. RPMs go counterclockwise to make space for the GPS view in the middle part. Very clear to read everything. Now to the infotainment system right here. It starts with the 8.8-inch smaller screen, would be like this. It's called then BMW Live Cockpit. With the GPS included, which would be called BMW Live Cockpit Plus. And then the BMW Live Cockpit Professional is this one, 10.25-inch screen that comes together with the digital instruments on the left side. Then you have this bigger screen. You see it works via touch, and you also have a very good responsiveness, clear view. The GPS software is awesome, is one of the best on the market, definitely, always guides us very precisely. These sport seats do have an impact of the legroom, so you can see the back part here is quite voluminous, so that reduces the legroom a little bit. However, they do have a soft background and not a hard shell at the back part, so when you hit it with your knees, it's then again still somewhat okay. Good that they thought of that. So let's take a seat inside and see how that one plays out. Of course, a shoe tap. So, and it does work for 4 tall adults closely, but works. And again, since this one is more voluminous, it's good that we have a soft background. The normal sport seat would have this hard shell right there, but then you have a little bit more space, so it's not too bad actually. So, headroom wise, when I lean backwards, I do hit my head on the ceiling, but that way it's still okay. So with the 1 Series hatch, for example, it's a little bit better, and also with the 3 Series sedan. So a little bit of a compromise, but still somewhat okay, so to say. 430 liters of capacity for this trunk. It's of course longer than with the BMW 1 Series, but you have this shallow opening, sedan-alike. You have some more space below it, and you can also remove this cover. But of course, it's somewhat practical because it reduces this loading sill. Well, and the measurements, as for the total length, it is 95 centimeters in length. It's about a meter in width, and the height here is about 45 centimeters. So that means when I put a standard backpack in here, it can actually stand upright, so that does work. Welcome to Thomas's Active Driving Lounge. We put the shifting lever into the manual mode, sports mode and traction control. And then we can also hit the launch control. We are at the moment just alone here. Brakes, throttle, and let's go. Look, that was only 100. Wow. Yeah, that went quick. So it was first a little bit downhill, then a little bit uphill. So that should have evened it out. But it's just around 5 seconds. And wow, that was really impressive. And the wet conditions here at the moment, and that means the all-wheel drive is working very well. So I did not experience any form of wheel spin or slip. That was really amazing. And since it's wet, I'm also putting the traction control in again. And again, please do not attempt to do this. Just do it on the closed circuit or something. Just doing it here for demonstration purposes and really safe when no one is around and so on. So now to the normal driving behavior. And I put in the traction control in again because of the wet conditions. However, I'm still in sport mode, that we get a little bit more of this exhaust note. And also in the sports mode, the throttle input is being reduced. The gears are turned up higher. Yeah, there's gesture control sitting in here when I'm just using gestures. Other than that, it's really good grip here on the steering wheel, and the steering ratio is really extremely well thought out. So it's a very natural driving feeling. We're here on one of our favorite testing routes in Portugal, and what we can do here is compare it also to other vehicles we've been driving, and that's really awesome. So I can really say, you know, how does this one behave to other vehicles, because I've driven this exact road with a lot of different other cars. And it doesn't feel too different from a normal 1 Series, or as we drove it in the 135i, which is technologically speaking the same vehicle. They also share the same wheelbase. Maybe it's a little bit different as for the weight balance and so on. And this car is so well to control, and the steering setup, steering handling and so on is even better than with the BMW 3 Series. So they are somewhat competing in the sedan segment. Yes, if you think about that, the 3 Series of course a segment above that and a little bit longer. But then again, this one here has the better package because of the shorter hood, and it is actually more fun to drive because it's a little bit smaller, it's a little bit lighter and so on. Yes, you don't have this rear-wheel drive punch out of the corners. That's somewhat missing, especially if you would just have front-wheel driven model of that. However, since we have the all-wheel drive here, when I'm accelerating out, we also have more torque on the rear wheels, and that is really helping to reduce this effect of you would feel it just be front-wheel driven. And just want to show you when we is Dash just waiting here or the drive? I'm not sure. I just want to show you when I'm here at like slippery surface, and I want to accelerate out the corner, you know. So I'm just right here, like say I want to get on this road, and I'm doing, let's say, not full throttle, but you know, strong acceleration out of a corner. When I have front wheel drive only, that would mean that the car steers me somehow, but I want to steer the car. So that's the thing. But here, how much torque is being transported to the rear, and how does this real differential in the front, which we get with the M235i, work? Is it, you know, correcting this issue of a front-wheel driven platform when we have the all-wheel drive, which is going front plus rear? What will happen? Let's see. Oh, excellent. Did you see like how calm the steering remained? And again, slippery ground here, that's really good. So indeed, the two things, all-wheel drive that is sending me torque to the rear wheels, and the front differential doing a good job to reduce this effect. Of course, again, a rear-driven platform will still behave differently, but they did all they could to reduce the difference between those. Very good handling. The adaptive suspension together with the 18-inch wheels also doing a good job. It is a sporty and crisp ride, yes, all you need. It shouldn't be any rougher. So going with 19-inch wheels together with the fixed sport suspension, I would not do that because it won't make the car faster or sportier. It just will make it feel rougher and less comfortable. The question is if that's really a good thing, you know? So here, a very good setup. They really thought about when developing this car, it should have 18-inch wheels and the adaptive suspension. That's, you know, what they thought about. Of course, it's still optional, yeah, because they want a little bit more money from you. The M Sport suspension is the standard one for this car here, for the M235i. So you cannot de-pick it and go for the base suspension. So definitely should opt for the adaptive suspension. Or if you don't go for this M Performance model, then just stick with the base suspension if you want to save some money. And about the fuel economy, a realistic figure would be about 9 liters on 100 kilometers, 26 mpg US, 31, 32 mpg UK. As an average figure, you know, it will be better when you're using motorway, cruise control and so on with the 135i, when we had some cruise control, German motorway. We could even score some 7.5 liters. That is possible if you really take it slowly. That will be then, you know, more in the higher 30 mpg regions. And if you push it a little bit more, also do some acceleration tests, as we did here today, it will rather go towards 10 liters and then of course lower than just above 20 mpg. So I think this 9 liters or 26 mpg is a realistic average figure in between. And now to our conclusion for today with the BMW 2 Series Gran Coupé, and especially here as the M235i. Well, it is very interesting to now have a serious competitor, a serious competitor. You got that right, well, I mean, a 2 Series competitor to the Mercedes CLA. We'll see how BMW really appears on that market. And it is a very beautiful exterior design, front and side profile. I think rear, I think you have to get accustomed to that. But in the base versions, it's a little bit less dramatic than here with the M235i, especially if you pack this shadow line where we have then the additional black wing that makes the rear a little bit more bulkish. On the interior, a superb build quality, also in the base versions, and we also have a nice seating choice both in US and especially in Europe, where we can get this additional or optional sport seats also with the Alcantara. You have reasonable comfort, yes, but I think when you're tall you still have more comfort in a 3 Series. However, this here is smaller, so you can get along in the city a little bit better, and the handling is really superb. This will be the same case also for example, the 228i, which will be the most successful engine in the US. And even if you just go with the smallest petrol engine, you will still have a lot of driving fun. The only thing is, if you have a front-wheel drive version, which will be just a European problem because in the US you will get it with all-wheel drive anyway. If you have the front-wheel drive version only, it's the same with new 1 Series. If you accelerate out of the corners, you won't have this very sporty touch. However, if you have the all-wheel drive version, they did actually a good job to reduce this front-wheel bias effect, and you still have a lot of fun. And again, driving-wise and agility, when you are already driving and not accelerating out of the corner, is even more fun than with a 3 Series. So a very cool driving machine. And price-wise, it can be very attractive, especially if you stick with the base versions. So you have a relatively cheap BMW. Of course, it won't be cheap overall, but considering how expensive their other models are. Here, the M235i is, of course, then again pretty expensive. If you think about the base model, you can get something like, depending on equipment, 30 to 45k dollars or euros. This one here then rather between 50 and 60. Depending on the equipment, so this will again get expensive. But of course, it's the same when you pick the CLA, for example, as an AMG. So what do you guys think? I think it's a very interesting new competitor in the segment. Had a lot of fun driving it. And we present you all the pros and cons we could pick up today. I think the most thing we can pick up is that it's really a very neutrally, very well balanced driving machine, and still has, a very elegant styling, although it's not the biggest car. So what do you guys think? Leave me your comments, please. Let's discuss this vehicle. Also tune in to the Mercedes CLA reviews to compare this year as a competitor. And if you're especially in Europe and thinking about 1 Series or 2 Series Gran Coupé, then you can also tune into our 1 Series review. We also have that one as a 135i, the direct competitor, internal competitor to this one. And now, enjoy the beach together with me, enjoy the car. Maybe just scroll back to earlier shots. Or I'll see you next time. Bye.